to another SWTOR PvP video. We got a very special one today. Today we'll be doing a SWTOR PvP gearing guide. As you guys see on the channel, we have different PvP guides. You know, we have one, for example, for Rage, Focus, Juggernaut / Guardian, as well as one for Fury Marauder / Concentration Sentinel, along with Hatred Assassin and Serenity Shadow. But what I want to do is make a video for newer PvP players and even more experienced people who don't know exactly what they should be running in PvP, gear wise, stat wise, tacticals, implements. You know, just giving them there's some things that haven't been tried out yet that you know, maybe people want to know or test out some certain things. So that's where this guide is coming in. So I just want to give you guys a general, but also give a little bit more specific detail of, you know, how you should be gearing yourself in PvP, which we'll be covering everything in this video, from like I said, gear, stats, to legendary implants and tacticals and whatnot. So we'll be covering all of that in this video. So make sure y'all stay tuned throughout the whole video. That way you guys can find what gear stats you want. And before we get into this PvP video, I want to make a quick note that if you're looking to better your PvP skills, I highly recommend checking out a lot of the great SWTOR PvPers that stream this game and also make YouTube videos on them. C's Face is a SWTOR PvP YouTuber that plays a variety of classes. You can watch his videos and understand how to play your class a little bit better. Another person I highly recommend checking out is Mr. Devil's Son. He is a marksman / gunslinger that is a really good player and streams this game on Twitch. You can check him out over there. He's a very great player. They used to play ranked back in the day. Another player is Bones Melodes Jones. He plays a good amount of classes. He plays Juggernaut, Marauder, and a gunslinger / sniper. So you can check him out. He streams in the midday around 5 p.m., 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Dread W.
I hate you, fucking player developers.
Get a new fucking job. Fucking develop Farmville or something for Facebook.
Streams in the mornings around 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, or 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And another person is Never Cared. He plays a bunch of classes. He streams around 3 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I don't really know how to convert all these times, but yeah, he's another great PvP streamer. And lastly, yours truly. I play quite a bit of classes. I mean, you see right now I'm playing the Guardian Juggernaut as always. But I play, sometimes I play Hatred, I play Assassin sometimes, I play Sork sometimes. It all depends, or Mara too. It all depends on what I really feel like playing. So, you can catch me streaming. Link is down in the description below. I stream around 2 p.m. to 10. I try to stream around like 6 to 8 hours. So you can catch me on there on the Twitch. Again, twitch.tv/thatmanjb if you guys want to watch the PvP streams, SWTOR PvP streams. But like I said, be sure, I highly recommend just watching anyone. If you have the time and you want to get better at PvP, because it's a fun game mode. I always say SWTOR PvP is super fun. I highly recommend watching people, because that's how I myself got better. I learn certain things about my own class, like how to use my DCDs, use my enrage defense around 30-40% HP, and then pop my saber ward. I would have never learned that if I didn't watch content creators to get better. And you know, it makes your games more fun, which is the end goal of all this, to have fun. So what's the best way of getting fun is getting better, in my opinion, because you want to get games competitive. You don't want them to just be stale and lose all the time. This is my opinion. So like I said, links to their channels will be in the description below if you want to check them out. And again, if you want to check out my Twitch, it's in the description below. Anyways, though, onto the video. Take care, y'all. Before we get into the gearing process, let's first make sure you are playing the class you want to play. I want to first give a quick explanation to which each class is about when it comes to PvP. For instance, first off, you have the Sork, which is a for DPS terms, it's a range class that has self-healing, but also can do quite a bit of burst for both of the DPS classes. So if that is the class you like playing at range, like a mage class, it also has good, decent healing while being very mobile. Another option is assassin slash shadow, which for tanking or DPS wise, it's very good for it has stealth abilities, so you could stay in camouflage and insane burst. So the point of stealth or assassin slash shadow is to get in, find a target that you can burst down on and use all your buffers, and your abilities to burst through them and then find your next target. That's what assassin is. So if that's the class you want to play, it has some squishiness to it, but it has, like I said, an incredible burst. So if that's the class you're interested in, the Assassin Shadow would be your go-to. Next, we have Juggernaut slash Guardian, my personal favorite slash main frontline space creator type of class that is meant to go in, either take in the front line and be the person that doesn't allow any of the frontlining players or melee players to get to your back line, or you could be, if you're playing with other frontliners or have a tank on with you, you could be the person to go disrupt the back line and allow your back line to free cast while you're taking in the bit of damage that the range players are dealing, while also do a good bit of damage yourself. You can very much play that class as a tanky player, or you can play it as a pure DPSer. Next up is Mara slash Sentinel. Sentinel Mara is more so you are trying to get as many 1v1s, or basically you want to get yourself isolated with another player and just work on DPSing that one player in particular. You could play something like Annihilation maybe, and then maybe work a little bit AoE into your kit. Mara is meant to take care of one person, go in, have a player use your DCDs, and you can get out and then heal yourself back up and then go back into the fight. It's a very mobile, high damaging class. Merc, if I'm gonna keep it real, it is a good new class. While I do describe Merc, if I'm being honest, as a punching bag or like a damage taker, absorption, it's because it has an insane amount of DCDs to handle it. Merc has a energy shield. It has a reflective barrier, reflective barrier, and it has cult to overload, which can go up to like 80%. I'm pretty sure. So you have a lot of things to keep it along with self heals as well. It has their own self heals. While the damage is kind of average, it's a great getting into the first time class. So I'd say if you're new to the game, you want to play something that have simple abilities to keep up, then Merc, it would be, I'd say, the more simpler version of Sork. Next up, we have PowerTech slash Vanguard. PowerTech Vanguard, it's more so if you just want to, go in there, do a whole bunch of damage, and, be the one that comes out on top. It is currently one of the higher DPS, it's actually one of the highest DPS specs in the game. So it can be challenging at first, but once you learn your rotation, practicing a little bit, it is one of the highest potential classes in the game. Next up, we have Sniper slash Gunslinger. This class is meant to, be a range player where you play separate from the team. You kind of also want to kind of like play like kind of isolated. That way, the enemies are either focusing on you or they're focusing on your team. So if you play with playing a sniper, it has very high damage. Has some busted classes in it, but overall it's meant to forcing the enemy team to focus on either you or focus on the front line or focus on the healers. Next up, we have Operative slash Scoundrel. You're supposed to go in, you play if you're doing objective Warzone, you're disrupting objective, or if you're playing in general PvP, you're meant to go in and annoy the backline. You're not really getting many kills on like tankier players or even like medium like tankier players like Juggernauts or PTs. You're not really going to go in and do crazy damage on them, but what you can do is get a lot of insane damage on like the more squishier players like a Sork or Assassin if you catch them off guard, or a Mara or a Merc without their DCDs as well. Those are the rundown of the classes, and I'd say you want to find what class suits you the best. You want to make sure you're playing a class that just fits the playstyle you are wanting to play. because if you don't find the playstyle you're going to want to play, you're going to go into a game being on it, farmed on by the enemy team, and then you're gonna not like PvP. You're gonna hate it. So it's good you come into a class that you like. Yes, this is the class I want to play. I feel the damage, or not even I feel the damage, because you have to level them up all the way to full, get all the gearing, just so you can like get a proper understanding. But you don't even need full PvP gear. You just need tacticals, basic 80 level 80 gear, and your paired implants, and that will give you the full story. If I know it's a lot, but it will give you the full story of what you wanna, if that class is for you or not. Yeah, out of these 8 different classes, find the playstyle that suits for you if you're trying to get into PvP. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into what legendary implants you should be running. All right. So I know I did a lot of yapping, explaining what class you should be playing based off of your playstyle, but I think it was a good summary because you want to find the class you want to play. Now, with that being said, now that you found your class or found what class you want to play, now let's get into the different specs of these classes. So linked over here, we have shout out SWTOR. We have SWTOR's website where she gives a rundown of every class and what implant are usually the go-to to run. Quick side note: there are 2 implants that you're gonna want to keep on the side, because sometimes for certain classes you're gonna want to run these two legendary implants if the class or the spec you're running doesn't have the best of packages, because there are some classes that don't have the best legendary implants of their own, like PT for example. Some people don't always have the most liking for some of their implants. Another one would be like lethality operative or whatnot. There's many other classes that they don't have what they're looking for themselves or looking for, so they go and use these side optional ones. The first one would be Second Wind, which after defeating an enemy in PvP, you heal yourself for 20% of maximum health and increase your movement speed by 75% for 8 seconds. Another one would be Stimulated Package, which is it's increase your mastery by 5%. So you'll increase your mastery by a little bit. Something like Operative also uses this. So let's going over all of these. We're gonna go down the list. Okay, I'm gonna ignore all the tank specs and go for like the skank tank version, because that's, I think, the better option in PvP. Because you just need the defense abilities of these tank classes. I don't really need the run full tank and Warzones, in my opinion, or PvP. But for Guardian Vigilance, you're gonna want to run Champion's Precision and then Retaliator, because Retaliator gives you no cooldown your retaliation DPS ability, which is one of your more proc abilities, which is going to be really good for a Juggernaut tank. Next up is Guardian or Focus Rage. You want to go Fearless Victor Champion's Precision, or you can go Second Wind, because this is going to be your must for all your tank classes. For Annihilation Watchman, you go Fearless Victor Berserker Call. Carnage Marauder, like it says here, you go Fearless Victor Dispatcher. For Fury Concentration, go Fearless Victor Berserker Call. I think that's the best choice. You could actually go Berserker's Call again, Second Wind. That could be a second option. I'm not gonna lie, that is a good second option. Keep you in the battle a little bit longer. Sage or Telekinesis Lightning, Gathering Storm, Unmatched Haste. These are usually, there's really no changing these up. These are just, your usual go-tos. I wouldn't go against anything for these. Kinetic Darkness, I don't really play this class, but this is what they recommend. Next up, we have Infiltration Deception. They go Dynamic Force. No, you do not go this. You go Dynamic Force, and then you go Shadowcraft. Shadowcraft is just what you're going to run every time in PvP. So then the next one, Serenity Hatred, would be Dynamic Force, then which gives you a reduction in your recklessness, and then you run Shadowcraft again. And then for Medicine Bodyguard, Advanced that's exactly what I do as well. These are all the same. I don't really play that class that much, but that would be the case. Geospacious Pyrotech, I don't really play that class, but this is what you run. Plasmatech Pyrotech, Shock Trooper. See, this is where a lot of people either go Shock Trooper, that's no question, but then that's where people either go Mandalorian Armaments, or you can go Stimulated Package. A lot of good PT players go Stimulated Package, so you can run that one if you want, or you can also try out Second Wind. It's all up to you. So those are the three options. Next up, you have Saboteur Marksman. All these, there's really no changing up on those. And then lastly, Medicine, Sawbones, Tactician for sure. And then you can either go Locked and Loaded or Stimulated. Now, with that being said, the what these legendary implants are these are your set bonuses that or these are your legendary packages implants, which are your packages. Legendary implant packages are your basically set bonuses, but now they're put into these your implants instead. So these are basically what they are. At first, when you in order to get these, you have to head over to the supply section of the fleet, and you're going to head over to the far right, and you're going to talk to a person named Londar Endwin. After you talk to him, you're going to have to get 100. You're going to get this option, which it says over here. It's going to be the mission called Technological Advancement Quest, where you have to get 100 of these points for this technical advancement. You can either get them by completing your conquest. All the options below. I'm gonna link the website, by the way, or in the description, so you guys can check out the website and see for yourself. But don't worry about grinding. Yeah, don't worry about grinding this actually at all. Just get the mission unlocked after heading over to Londoa, and then you're just gonna do. All you're gonna do is flash points, and well, we're gonna explain how you're gonna get the gear and how over time you just basically you'll get what you need to get these packages or these legendary implants, which are gonna cost tech frags, which you can get just by playing PvP, doing PvE like flashpoints, operations, heroics, daily arenas or areas, and all that. Yeah, so you're gonna wanna, after getting two of your pieces, from 326 to I think 330, and then 332 all the way to 340, you unlock achievements. Make the cost of your next upgrades of these implants a lot cheaper. Every legendary implant is gonna cost 6,500 tech frags. The best way of grinding for these is just doing story mode story mode operations and getting those out the way. However, I just think it's best to first get your gear, then worry about upgrading these implants. Gear is more important because once you get the implants, you basically have the stats you're looking for, and then you can grind PvP to get the tech frags and whatnot. Okay, so here is the legacy achievement where it says that once you acquire the item rating 330, 334, or 340, it makes the progression for the legendary implants a lot cheaper, but it does say retired achievement. So here we have the tacticals for every single person, or all the classes. So if you're playing Madness Balance, direct damage, you can do Tempest of Rio. For AoE, you're gonna run Killing Field, and then for Lightning, Stormwatch is a very big PVE tactical. I actually run it, but for PVE, your best bet is Ervin Haste. And I heard a lot of people farm with Elemental Convection for AoE damage. For Corruption Seer, one for all, that's just the best in slot. For Assassin, most people go Ancient Tome, I'm pretty sure. Next up for Deception and Infiltration. For AoE is May Cause Injury. So you can run that one if you want to run full AoE for Deception. But if you're going to go for the proper single target burst, then you'd go dual cloak or two cloaks. That is for sure your best PvP. You don't need any of these other ones. If you're not going two cloaks or May Cause Injury, then you're basically trolling your PvP build. You have Hatred Serenity, two cloaks for again arenas. But if not that, then I suggest quick escalation for staying in the fight. You want quick escalation because what it does is it makes your Seven Strike or Serenity Strike just give you a lot more lifesteal. For Vengeance, you're gonna go cut to pieces no matter what. It's just your best in slot. I try running him on Slash, but just for the betterment of the game, or betterment for your sanity, just run cut to pieces. Prioritize your slam ability after dots, then slam. For Rage Focus, it doesn't show it because they're shared with Marauder, but you're gonna go in Rage Crush. That's your best bet. A lot of burst. You could also run Grit Teeth. It's also a very good one. And then for Mortar Defense, you can either go Horde for that extra DR or Grit Teeth, but I just suggest Grit Teeth. Next for Sentinel, you're gonna want for Fury, you're gonna want there you go. For Carnage, you're gonna want Shard of Mortis. It's just the best in slot. Okay, so for Annihilation, you either go Spiteful Saber. I think it's just best. Just go Spiteful Saber. That's your best bet. For Fury, like I said, just go Enrage Crush. And then, or you can run Grit Teeth, up to you. But for oh, that's all three. Sorry, I don't know. I thought it didn't do combat. Gunslinger. What's it called? Sniper. You're gonna go for Virulence. I think go Exploited. I guess. I'm sorry, I don't know the best one. I'm gonna try. I'll figure it out off stream as I know. Engineering. They go 100% Ruthless Interrogation. For marksmanship, um, BO is for direct damage, and then agitating engineers is for good energy sustained. Yeah, sustained DPS. For concealment, yeah, acid lash. Everyone goes. I think actually some people go volatile strike because of AOE. PvP tactical. Lethality though, I know. You want to go viral elements. The farming, like even in war zones, arenas, no matter what it is, you're just gonna go. You're gonna go viral elements for the AOE damage. Cynex shots is another good option if you're trying to do burst damage. If you really want to do burst damage on lethality, then you go Cynex shots. For medicine, yeah, most people just go regenerating weave for the AOE damage or AOE heals. Excuse me. But you don't want to be playing medicine sawbones. It's just not PvP is just terrible to run that healing spec by any means, no means. So for power tech, for pyro, you're gonna just go superheated fuel. Is just the best for that class. AP, you can either go I don't know why it shows this. You either go power detonator or you can go overwhelming offense. I go power detonator for that sustained burst damage, but you can also go overwhelming offense. Just choose whichever you want. And then I think most people go oil fire, commando merc. Io goes energized charge. That is the one. Arsenal burning bright 100%. And then for bodyguard healing, bodyguard combat medic. What's it called? You're gonna go CC4 treatment. Just makes your healing more AoE healing. You could also go running restoration does allow your healing scan to do. You can use it while moving. Up to you, but yeah. Either way, just best bet is to run treatment scanner. But yeah. Now that's all the tacticals going over. Hopefully I was able to give you guys the best recommendation. I think go over the gear. Okay, so now that we've gone over how or what implants and legendary or what implants and tacticals you should run, now let's talk about how you gain your gear. So if you look at my own gear, you can see it's not really similar to how most other gear pieces look like. So the reason being is because in SWTOR you can once you reach have one of your gear pieces equal 340 or 328 to 340, you can turn them in to a vendor named Hyde and Zeke. Well, you're gonna talk to Hyde to which and then use Zeke to buy the gear. So you're gonna talk to Hyde, tell him to skip through this, tell him you want to do the mission. You're gonna want to do this mission. You're gonna want to do accept mission. I'll return with the part I need for 336 prototype modification. Prototype means is blue gear. Artifact is purple gear. And the reason I say go for 336 because that's all you're getting. We're not getting purple gear. Reason being is because if we look at the stat difference, between this purple gear and this blue, the only difference is they're 40 about 40 power. So you lose 40 power on this gear piece or on your blue gear pieces, and instead gain 40 endurance. But in the grand scheme, it's really not that much of a difference, and it allows you to get into PvP way quicker. And the way you gain these 336s is by, well, the way we're gonna gain 336, in my opinion, which is the fastest way, is by doing heroics and daily arenas. So linked in the description, I'll have a Google Excel sheet where I'll show you guys. Actually, I can just here we have the Excel sheet of the best or the quickest heroics that you can do. The quickest heroics you can do for each planet. And I don't, it doesn't include daily arenas, but that's fine. I'm gonna tell you which are the fastest daily arenas, and maybe I'll also link which are the fastest, like on a website of that someone might have. But yeah. So here is, like I said, linked. I have already got rid of it. Here is linked both the Republic and Cis side, or Empire side, Imperial side. So here you see. Oh, you guys can't see it. Here you see is the Republic side, and then here is the Imperial, so you can click between the both of them, and then here it'll tell you how long, second wise, it took to finish each one. So you can use this as figuring out which ones are the fastest. The quickest ones I do, and I recommend having a stealth character to make this a lot faster. The quickest ones for me are Balmora, Belsavis, Corellia, Drummond Cause, Tatooine, and Voss. Those are the quickest ones for me for heroics. And then as for daily arenas, the next quickest ones are CZ198, Black Hole, and Yavin 4 at times. But yeah, the first two are for sure the quick or first. Yeah, the first two are for sure the quickest. CZ and Black Hole. I'll mention the other ones once I research what other people think are the fastest for these ones. But after the reason I say you're gonna do these, I say you do these heroics and daily arenas is because if you look over here, you see they drop one noble chest, which are gonna be good. But second, the more important one is conquest commendations. And the reason you're gonna want to farm for these is because after you gain 324 gear, which is gonna cost like 100 to 120 conquest commendations, you're then gonna work on gearing up or getting 336 both relic pieces, which are mastering critical. I recommend that's just the best, and 336 earpiece. And also you could also work on gaining the implants, but you're probably gonna have your legendary implants in there, so wouldn't recommend them very much. But you can if you have extra relic pieces. The reason, or if you have extra conquest commendations. And the reason I say you're gonna grind for these pieces is because they're the cheapest to upgrade. Um, they're the cheapest to upgrade, and then I've heard that you have a higher chance of getting relic pieces, but don't quote me on that. From where we're gonna get try and get 336 pieces, which are gonna be from flashpoints. So what you're gonna want to do, um, before you queue up to your flashpoints is make sure you go over here to the priority missions vendor, which is right here for me near the supply section, and you're gonna want to pick up all three because here you'll get 5 quest commendations and tech frags, which are gonna help to your daily goal of getting 336 to 340 legendary implants, and then also getting FP1 stabilizers, which I mean you're there's two ways of doing this. You could either the long way is just getting a 330 blue piece by putting a lower than level 80 relic piece in slots, and then once you get that, then upgrade it to max through the flashpoint upgrade area. But in my opinion, there's that place, but that's a safer option. Is just putting a random any relic. I mean, any relic that's not level 80, you can put it in there, and then you'll for sure get a relic piece. You could do that, or you can do the more riskier play, which in my opinion, works more often than not. So, what you do is you grab an earpiece. You're gonna have this 336 earpiece. You're gonna put this in your gear slot, along with the relics, and then you're gonna queue up flashpoints, all of them, and then you're gonna keep on running until you get a blue 336 to drop, whether it's a relic earpiece or whether it's an earpiece or a relic. Another thing to be on the safer side is you can also get a wrist piece and a belt, but I don't really get many drops from these. Get the most drops, if I'm being honest, you get it from earpiece and relic and implants. If you don't have a 336 implant, then I recommend putting your noble implants, 336 implants in here instead. Making these whole accessories all 336. That's the safest bet, in my opinion. But after you do that, you are then going to queue up until you get the blue 336 Supreme 336 gear piece. And then after you do that, you're then going to deconstruct it using this tool right here, and then right-clicking on the blue. So it'd be this one, and then the mission will succeed, and then boom, you can get your then you can go talk to Hyde, and then he'll give you mission accomplished, all that, and then you could talk to Zeke, which would then you'd be able to buy all 336 gear or 340 if you want to upgrade it all the way to 340. But like I said, it's cheaper. It's cheaper just to get them just to get all your accessories to 336 than get them all to 340. So it's up to you though how you want to do it. If you want a quick TLDR, so the TLDR is to get 324 gear by gaining around 100 to 200 conquest commendations. After you do that, you're going to want to spam these heroics, which I mentioned, which are the fastest. I like right here, I got 650 on one character alone. Or that was by doing all the weeklies and also getting my 200 from Conquest. After you grind enough Conquest commendations to get all your accessories to 336, then you queue up for flashpoints. Keep on doing flashpoints until you get one of these accessories to 336. And before you queue up for those flashpoints, make sure you have your priority missions, which give more resources. Also, and then after you do that though, after you finally get the 336 piece, you're gonna want to talk to Hyde, accept the mission, deconstruct 336 prototype, which is the blue, and then you're gonna head over here to deconstruct your 336 gear piece. Like I said, I recommend 336. You can do 340, but either way, all of these need to be 336 to have give you the highest chance of getting the Supreme gear piece. So now let's go over the gear stats that you should be running, because everyone's class is somewhat different from the rest. Some of them are similar, some of them are very far different. So depending on there's two things that depend on what stats you should be running. One, if your class succeeds with higher alacrity, that being Carnage, and what's it called? Sword, Lightning Sword. So depending, or even I think Madness too, because they both have polarity shift. And I don't know if there's any other classes, but one, depending on how if you get boosted alacrity, I think also lethality too, but don't quote me on that. Or operative / scoundrel. And two, if your class DPS abilities has a lot of tech / force abilities. So for example, well, let's get this out the way. All healers don't need accuracy. All healers and tanks never need accuracy. Don't worry about no accuracy for none of your guys' builds. You guys are all usually running similar stats to this. The base alacrity that everyone should be trying to get is a 1.4 or a 1.4 GCD. That being 2054 alacrity. That is where the standard alacrity piece or alacrity setting is. Even if you're a little bit over, there's nothing wrong with that. You can go you can go up to 2200, and you should be fine. Healers and DPS or healers and tanks don't need to worry about accuracy, like I said, and just work on getting that alacrity piece, and the rest going to critical and hitting that 17k mastery like I am right now. So for DPSers, depending on if your class has a lot of force abilities, and the way you know if your class has force abilities, which if you can't read them, then you could just look at not read them because it doesn't show you anymore. I really don't like that. They really need to add if it's a force ability or melee ability. But the way you can tell is if you use that ability, it will pop up yellow. So like if I use my slam, that's a force ability. If I use my force push, that's a force ability. If I use my force stasis, that's a force ability. All of these are force abilities. If I use my force scream, that's a force ability. Oh, and my plasma too, I guess. See right here, my force blade storm, that's a force ability. So you can tell their force abilities based off the color of the damage. So if the damage is white, that is a melee / range attack. If the damage is yellow, then that's a tech / force ability. Dots also count as force abilities, or count as yellow abilities as well. I'm pretty sure all of them do. I think all of them do. That's why a lot of dot specs are very big at the moment. Well, let's go over all of them. I'll try and give you guys a rough estimate if it's a force slash tech based class, or if it's a melee slash range based class. So going over Madness Sorc, like I said, all Madness, all Sorc sages are force and tech, force abilities. So just work. Don't even worry about accuracy for you guys in PvP. This is PvP. You don't need to worry about accuracy most of the time. For assassin, yes, except if you're playing hatred. Hatred does not need as much, but it's probably best to run it because a lot of your melee abilities are required. But you could go off without it. Most of the time, most of your high damage abilities are all dot. So like if I use my Eradicate, that's a force ability. These are all force abilities. See, every one of these is force abilities. So hatred does not need accuracy. Deception needs accuracy. A lot of its abilities is accuracy. Maul, maul, assassinate, all that. Using that accuracy. Vengeance does not need accuracy. Rage, yes, needs accuracy. Carnage, does need accuracy. Yes, very much needs accuracy. So you can work towards getting the 1.3 GCD, which is 3200. Annihilation does not need accuracy. I'm pretty sure. Again, that's the one I don't know much about. Fury needs accuracy. Virulence, I don't think it needs accuracy, but it might. I'm not sure. When I watch people play Virulence, Dirty Fighting, it does look like they need accuracy. Engineering does not need accuracy. No, I'm like highly certain they don't need accuracy. Marksman, okay, yeah, I just got back. Yes. Oh, you guys see I looked it up just to be safe. Yes. Marksman very badly needs accuracy. I'm assuming they probably all need accuracy. Just for the safeness, all of them need accuracy. But like I said, you can test it out yourself. Test out your damage. If you see yellow damage most of the time for most of your abilities and your big ones, don't look at your basic ones. Look at your big abilities. Damaging abilities. If they're yellow, then you don't need them. Operative, yes, they need that. Quick editor's note. Concealment, Scraper, Medicine, and Sawbones don't need accuracy. Just Lethality, Ruffian, because they have a lot of melee attacks. The rest use tech attacks and healing abilities. And Power Tech, no, they do not need accuracy. A lot of AP's damage is all tech abilities. You have your Power Tech, or a lot of Advanced Prototype and Tactics damages is what's it called? Tech abilities. With that being said, if you need accuracy, then your gear will look actually very simple. It's not really that much of a difference. All you're doing, and I always just have my hand and my leg pieces, because I'm pretty sure that's what it looks like for regular gear too. Is that all I do is I just get rid of those, and then I just put 2 accuracy pieces, and bada bing, bada boom, you're done. That's all the accuracy you need. Because if you've completed your story, if you've done all of your companion dialogue, conversations over here, and he will give me grand bonus to accuracy. Give you 1% bonus to your accuracy. See right here, I have a 4.34 accuracy. If I scroll down, it is changed to 5.34. So that's why all you need is 2 accuracy enhancements, and you're good. So if you need accuracy on your gear loadout, this is all your gear is going to look out. The only difference. So since I'm going for that 17k mastery, I don't know why it dropped randomly, but since I'm going for that 17k accuracy, because of this thing. I can't change it. Well, either way, yeah, it's still saying the same. If you're going for that accuracy, then this is what your gear stats would look out. So you can go. From what I've been told, shout out to Cease. He helps me a lot. He gives a lot of information. You don't need more than 4,200 critical. After that, it's just diminishing returns. So you can put the rest into. You can either go and put all of it into critical, which would give you 4,200, or you can put the rest into 17k mastery and have 3,400 critical. So it's up to you how you want to do it. You don't need accuracy. It will look more so like this. So this is what it looks like. And that is what your gear looks like. So basically, I mean, there's really not much explanation, but keep in mind, you gotta see what your implants are. If your implants are, they'll either be critical or alacrity. Unless you're a tank, or unless you're going for, like, for example, like I said, retaliation for Juggernaut. Those are, I think, blue. Yeah, so you see here, Retaliator is a shield one. So it is one of those where it's yeah, you do lose stat with this, so keep in mind if you do go with this retaliatory package, which I did recommend, but at the same time, might have to adjust your stats based on what your implants are. So just, yeah, like I said, keep that in mind. So anyways, hopefully this gearing guide has been helpful. We got to cover a lot of things in this video. One, what class you should be playing, like what class fits your play style, what tacticals you should run, which legendary implants you should run, how you obtain your gear, and what are the best stats for the class you are playing. There's a lot of different things that I brought up in this video, and also, like I said in the beginning of the video, be sure to check out some of these content creators if you want to get better at PvP. Because like I said in the beginning of the video, PvP for me has been super fun. Is what keeps me 100% what keeps me playing this game. While operations and story, of course, story is great. It's what got me and a lot of other people, maybe even yourself included, into SWTOR. I don't know, something about PvP. It just brings a fun competitive side to the game that just makes me want to keep on playing. So that's why I want to like making these PvP videos and want to keep making them. But I don't want to keep on rambling. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Next guide will be a Vigilance Vengeance guide, so be on the lookout for that. And then let me know if you guys want another guide after I just did this video. You know, maybe there's some new players getting to the game. You guys are curious about a certain class, a certain discipline. Like, you know, there's a Vengeance, Vigilant. I'm not gonna play Sniper. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think so. Maybe Annihilation, Deception, Lethality. You know, just I'm making up all the classes. You know, if there's a class you want me to try, Lightning Sword, be sure to let me know in the comment section, and let me know if you guys enjoyed the video. Anyways, though, I'll take care of y'all. See y'all in the next one. Keep that in mind.
Where are the hell?